Welcome to the Probably Soccer podcast, where we probably talk about soccer. My name's Eddie,
And I'm Justin.
and we are your hosts. We're two buddies who are just getting into American soccer, and this weekend marked the beginning of our first MLS campaign. We had a lot of soccer to watch, lots of observations were made, and we're excited to dive in with you for this MLS Week 1 2026 recap.
Eddie, week one. How was your weekend?
I got two words for you, Justin. Vamos United. Um, this weekend, obviously, DC United hosted their home opener. And I'm a proud DC United season ticket member for the first time. That's how excited I am about getting into soccer. And first game was against Philadelphia. And last time we played Philadelphia, we lost 6-0. And DC United came out triumphant 1-0 off of a Ty Baribo strike. It was beautiful. It should have been his second one, but the first one he was offside a little bit, and it was absolutely electric. I was watching from the supporter section, and the vibes were just absolutely exceeded my expectations because historically, as we all know, DC United, very bad team. Really not historically, just past, 15 years or so. Really bad team. Atmosphere could suffer because of that. And I knew it was home opener, so I knew that there'd be a good amount of people there. But I was honestly really impressed. There was a lot going on. All of the chants were in Spanish, which was really funny. Not funny, just really fun. I'm starting to learn Spanish, so I actually kind of understood one of them. And woke up this morning, and I was just singing in my head, "Vamos, Vamos United." So it was a really good time. Justin, were you able to watch any of the game, or were you locked into a different one?
Man, there were so much games going on this weekend. That was
Every
beautiful,
weekend.
by the way. Your Vamos United. That was amazing. I did think, look, I I did think that Philadelphia was going to spank y'all. Just, and
Hmm.
I'm sure you did too. I mean, I
Yeah.
they're a great team. We have them high in the power rankings for a reason.
Hmm.
They're projected to do very well. But DC, I mean, they were playing well. They came out, they won it. I'm glad your first home opener was an excellent one. Sounds like it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was really interesting. Baribo was brought over from the Union in the offseason, so he was really fired up to score against his former team, especially on the side where the away supporters sit. So it was really cool to see his reaction there. And I was honestly just really impressed with the team overall. Really solid defense. The attack was there. We didn't take as many shots as Philadelphia, but my DC United MVP outside of Baribo has to be Sean Johnson. Made some really good saves. He was out there, kind of an OG of MLS. Used to play on the national team, and so I was very impressed with the play that I saw, and I recognize Justin that it is only week one. Um, and so I'm not trying to get too excited, but I am excited to see what happens the rest of the season with DC United, what goes on there, and if Philadelphia, if that was just a fluke, or yeah, because in the offseason they sold a lot of their good players from last season. So I went to the comment section of the Union after the game. It was just really funny seeing their fans overreact or just react to what they had witnessed. And so it'll be interesting to see whether maybe the Union aren't actually as good as people say they are, as we think they are. But yeah, DC United absolutely exceeded my expectations this weekend. I was really impressed by their gameplay. There are obviously some flukes that happened, like we brought on in the 75th minute or so. Our record signing, like $6.5 million, Luis Munteanu from Romania, and like his third touch was he's up front in the attack, and his third touch was like just an awful strike way outside. of the goal, and so you could hear the like genuine distress from us in the supporter section when that happened. So there were some discouraging things to work on, but overall, just a really solid game from DC United. I'm excited for the season. Hopefully we keep winning. I'll say that.
Yeah, man. I mean, you guys, like I said, you guys look great. Was not expecting you in the game, but congrats on that. Hey, at my hometown, we won too. FC Dallas had a great game against Toronto. Well, I shouldn't
Clap it up.
say great.
Clap it up.
Hey, I always take it. We'll always take a win.
Clap it up. Clap it
One
up.
zero, 3-2, whatever you got. Uh, against Toronto, which I expected us to win this game. I wanted us to win this game. But it obviously was, I mean, it was pretty tight.
Mm.
We didn't score the winning goal until the 74th minute, and then it was kind of down from there. But uh, Pitar Musa, man, it's Musa madness down here in Frisco. Absolutely, man, making his World Cup case. And yeah, I mean, just the Toronto goalkeeper didn't even record a save the whole entire game. So I don't know what that means for Toronto. They got to figure that one out.
Yeah, really
Um,
interesting there.
and and we probably need to put more. We probably need to put more soccer balls in the nets. If he didn't record a save and we only scored three, we're obviously not on target.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but
I
man,
haven't I haven't looked at the stats, but I assume it's probably three um, shots on goal, and those all three went in. Is my
yeah,
assumption there.
exactly that.
Um, yeah, I watched the highlights. I was really impressed with the attack there. FC Dallas might be a sleeper pick to go pretty far, but we'll see.
I wouldn't go that far. We've got a lot of defensive liabilities right now
Yeah,
that we need to fix. So, but great game by Peter Musa. Obviously, we need somebody who's gonna just take those chances, right? The
yeah,
biggest thing
yeah,
I saw was we just nobody wanted to take the chance. We had 11 shots, but what are we doing with those 11? We have to be smarter with our choices because obviously the ones on goal went in. So, but hey, like I said, I have no expectations for FC Dallas this season. I just but
no
we're undefeated,
expectation is an
baby.
expectation, Justin. Come on.
No, 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 no. We're undefeated in Frisco. That's all I know. That's all I've got. We're
That is an
undefeated in Frisco.
observation. It was kind of funny before the game. Someone from Dallas that we knew from college, he posted like MLS season starting. I slid up and I said, "Vamos United," just like bantering. He's like, "Hey, let's hope both of our teams do well." And I said, "We probably are going to be pretty disappointed watching both of our teams play this season." And both of our teams
Yeah.
ended up winning yesterday. So I'd
Hey,
say
we'll
that's
take it.
that's a win for the Probably Soccer podcast, and that's a win for America. So
Yeah, it's true. You know what another win is these games, other than just our hometown games, the games this
right,
weekend were phenomenal. It was a great opening weekend for the MLS. Um, I mean, let's just move over to the big highlight game, which would be LAFC Miami. How good did LAFC look last night?
yeah, they really impressed me. I was really excited about the Saturday night showdown, as they're calling it, the Walmart Saturday night showdown. Shout out Walmart. I missed all the first half just because getting back was a doozy from Audi Field. But watching the second half, I was just really impressed by LAFC and not so impressed by Miami. Obviously, people have high expectations for Miami, reigning MLS Cup champions. Messi, you know, they signed a bunch of good players in the offseason. So Justin, the question is Miami bad or is LAFC really good? Or is this just a classic example of a really cool season opener? But LA Memorial Coliseum, they're 70,000, and LAFC is just able to really deliver for the home crowd. Like what are you thinking here?
Yeah, I mean, the atmosphere was electric. I think that has to be
Yeah,
said. There wasn't a game. I mean, the way to end the weekend, or at least the Saturday night prime time,
yeah,
with that home opener, the uh, every goal you could just hear the crowd pop. Like
yeah,
it was
insane.
electric. It was so good. Uh, Eddie, I'm not going to say Miami sucks, but I'm not going to not say that either. It's if you listen to the pod enough, if you listen to us talk enough, we don't like Miami
Yeah,
at
no.
all. We don't like him at all. So another win for us. But LAC just looked good. I think it's a little bit of both. I think Miami's got some connection issues they obviously need to make. Um, Obviously, the vibes are just kind of off in Miami. You would expect a team with Messi on it to just be fantastic. The team itself is great. Their goalkeeper being one of the best in the league, and yet he still let three goals in, and there was only 5 shots on goal. So I mean, his save percentage, he only got 2 saves off of that. But ultimately, like Miami's just got to shoot the ball more.
Yep.
They uh they only had 2 shots on goal. Obviously, none of them went in, but they just need to shoot the ball. I mean, they had a 69% possession rating, so they had the ball. They just weren't doing a lot with it. So there just
Yeah.
needs to be a little bit more from
Yeah,
that side.
it's really interesting stats there. Just you could possess the ball for almost, you know, 3/4 of the game, but if you're not shooting, if you're not able to create those chances and deliver there, then you're not going to win. And so I'm not on the Miami sucks train just yet, but I
I'd love to
think it
be.
was I would love to be as well. But it's literally match week 1. I'm not gonna overreact just yet. Because again, they've got those stats of 70% possession. They absolutely dominated on having the ball. However, creating those chances, they've got to do better. And when I was watching, I remember a lot of LAFC. I had the reactions of like, "Whoa, like oh, there we go." But when Miami was had the ball, I was just like, "Oh, what's going on here?" Like, come on, guys. It really wasn't anything that impressed me. And as someone who's newer to soccer, newer to American soccer specifically, like at the top of my brain since 2023, 2024 when Messi came over is like Miami's really good. Messi's the goat,
Yeah.
obviously, and Miami is when they're performing, they're going to do really well. They're going to go off, and it's almost like the glaze I've been seeing from everybody. I'm like, all right, cool, like they're going to go off, and I just didn't see that last night. So we'll have to watch a few more matches for Miami before we can really sound the alarm on if they suck this season or what's going on. But I really do think that LAFC. Um, I mean, we have them high up in our power rankings already. A lot of people do have them going to the MLS Cup, probably me included. They are a very good soccer team.
Yeah, they're great. And if you want to talk about another really good soccer team, and a
I would
soccer
love
team
to.
we both love, you know where I'm going. How about a 5-0? 5-0,
Let's
Eddie.
clap it up.
Hey, for our San Diego FC. Let's go.
Wow.
They are not, I mean, we talked about it, but they had to prove themselves this season, right? They'd have to
Right.
prove that they're not just some like fluke. This wasn't just luck. And what a way to come out. 5 goals to their 0 on Montreal's side. And I know Montreal is not the craziest. Like we're not talking about them going to the MLS Cup or anything. And
Yeah.
San
No.
Diego's one of those teams we would definitely talk about going to the Cup. But to beat anyone 5-0, I mean, that's nuts.
Yeah. Humiliating, almost. I mean, Montreal got that red card, and the score was already it was 2-0 at that point. They get
Yeah.
three, they get a fourth, they get a fifth. All those goals, I was pretty impressed with them delivering. I mean, they were playing with an extra man because of the red card, but San Diego, like, what a way to start your second season in the MLS. Because last season, they had the support of first season in the MLS. They go pretty far in playoffs. Their atmosphere is absolutely electric. They were top of the Western Conference last season, so they have a lot to prove. And I think we saw that last night. I'm on the East Coast, so that game literally starts at like 10:30. So I only watched a little bit because bedtime hit. But watching the highlights, I was very impressed by San Diego and the way that that people glaze Miami, I'm gonna glaze San Diego. I think I
Yeah,
think that's
we're a pro San Diego podcast.
yeah.
Absolutely.
We should just rebrand right now. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, San
We
Diego,
could.
very good at soccer. I think it was a great. It wasn't like technically the nightcap because the Saturday showdown was LAFC Miami. But as
Mhm.
like the last few games of the night, I think it was a great one to finish on. So I was really impressed by San Diego, and it'll be really interesting to see how they do going forward, how they respond, how they continue to play. Will it continue to be dominance? Is it going to be a bunch of 1-0 wins, 2-1 wins? Is it going to be a losing streak, a bunch of draws? Like, it'll just be really interesting to see how they continue to build this team and how they continue to build their program going forward in this campaign.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was just phenomenal from all sides. Well, I love talking about these games. Coming up right after the break, we're going to talk about our winners of the weekend and maybe more importantly, the losers of the weekend.
Yeah.
All right, Eddie, it's time to talk about our winners of the week and our losers of the week. But honestly, I just want to know what team surprised you most after this weekend?
Um, when I was thinking about what team surprised me the most, I think my answer is New York Red Bulls. Um, in our probably power rankings, we put them pretty low because we didn't know what to expect. They're a really young team, and they were playing a really old team. And they came out swinging in the first half. Very quickly, 2-0 lead. I think the game ended up being 2 nothing or 2-1. But
Two
I was
one.
just really impressed with their gameplay from the young lads of that team. I think a lot of them are younger than me, and I'm 23, which is insane. And they really surprised me with how quickly they got out to the lead, and nothing much really happened in the second half. It seemed like more park the bus kind of strategy. Um, but the fact that they were able to pull out that win pretty impressively, some really solid goals from the guys. They really impressed me and surprised me this week.
Yeah, you don't usually see young teams like this. I mean, in any sport. I mean, the possession was pretty much 50-50, but the one that stands out to me with Red
Mm-hmm.
Bulls is they had 24 shots. I mean, it seems like as soon as they were touching it, as soon as they got in that back third, they were shooting it. And 13 of them were on target. So we probably need a little bit more accuracy.
Yeah,
But man, if you're shooting 13 shots on target, I mean, we could have easily seen this game be a
a San
5-1,
Diego situation. Yeah.
6-1. San Diego situation. Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, when I think about a team that I just that really surprised me this week, I'm thinking about Minnesota. And this isn't like a big
Yeah.
game. Like
Good
obviously, like
answer.
they drew, but when you have to walk into Q2 Stadium and they are the green everything
Can
and
we
the
pause for a
smoke is
moment and acknowledge the tifo? I don't know if you saw that, Justin. I think I sent it to you
I did
actually. The
I
Austin
did see it.
tifo went insane, incredible. I was at the DC United game, and I went with my buddy who's from England, and I said, I said, look, we do have tifos in American soccer. Like, come on, like that was insane. Anyways,
I I don't know. I think to add to the point, yeah, like I saw Matthew McConaughey hitting that drum and I was a little bit shaken. I was a little bit stirred, but
yeah,
not
give me a
Minnesota.
wall.
Right. Like I was fired up. I can't imagine being a player on that field. Austin loves their team. They don't have a sports team outside of, the University of Texas, so
Mm-hmm.
they love they love Austin
100%.
FC. They show up. I know that from just being in Dallas, seeing going to the games. That rivalry is hot, and they show
Yep.
up. But I could not imagine the atmosphere. And then if you're Minnesota, nobody's looking at you to like make any splashy plays. Nobody's thinking. I mean, honestly, you're walking into it, you're like, Austin could score 90 here with the way that they're coming in, and it looked
Yeah.
like it, right? Like it wasn't great, but all that being said, Minnesota stayed with them. They surprised me. I know it's a draw. It's not like they got the win out of it, but I mean, they did the work to stay in the game, and I think in an
I mean,
environment like that, that's impressive.
it felt like a win almost because they got the equalizer in the 90th minute. Like it
Yeah,
was pretty insane. Like almost heading to stoppage time. You get an equalizer like that. You silence Q2 Stadium. Like it was absolutely electric.
Yeah, and talking about a stadium that you can hear the pop in the crowd, and when that ball hits the back of the net. I mean,
So we just talked about what teams surprised us the most. Um, Justin, what team do you think underperformed? Like the opposite of surprised you? Like you were just really like, this is not what I expected. What team underperformed this week?
yeah, let me set the stage for you, Eddie.
All
I'm
right.
sitting I'm sitting at my house. I know I gotta record this pod later. It's Saturday at 1:30 Central Time. I am ready to watch Charlotte and St. Louis. Uh, and I see the ugliest jerseys I've ever seen. Uh, I
Facts.
said, "Oh my gosh,
Facts.
St. Louis is about to." I mean, they can't win this game, not with those things on. And I'm not even talking about them. Charlotte. I mean, I understand it was a draw. I understand that they didn't, it wasn't the most exciting game, but Charlotte looked lazy out there.
Yeah.
I honestly thought they would come in. They're coming off one of the best seasons they've ever had. And it just seemed like they thought St. Louis was going to be a cakewalk. I thought St. Louis looked amazing. I thought the way they controlled the ball in the middle of it, we were even texting during the game, and I was
Mm-hmm.
saying we were
Mm-hmm.
talking about how if the ball was in the middle of the field, St. Louis knew what to do with it. And every single time they recovered it on defense, you saw those guys start running. They were in sync. The culture in St. Louis is doing great, but underperformed. It has to be Charlotte. They look slow. They look lazy. Uh, their only redeeming factor is their goalie who was
Yep.
fantastic
Yep.
on Saturday. So I don't want to disregard that. But when you let 22 shots go and you have possession for half the time, I mean, if you look at the stats on this game, they are lucky that St. Louis didn't collect more than they did. They should have lost this
Yeah.
game. They didn't look good. Not a great start to the season for them.
I didn't realize it was 22 shots from St. Louis. That's absolutely
Yeah,
insane.
yeah,
Yeah, I
and
agree.
only
The
nine,
Charlotte goalkeeper,
only
though,
nine
I
for
was,
Charlotte.
yeah, real MVP. The Charlotte goalkeeper was insane.
Hey,
Um,
claps for the
one,
Charlotte goalkeeper. Free my
yeah,
boy.
yeah,
Get him out
claps.
of Charlotte. Free my boy. Get him
um,
out of Charlotte.
for me, one team that I think really underperformed, and Justin, you're not going to like my answer here because you have a special
Don't say
affinity for this team, and I don't. Atlanta United. Um, I was just not impressed. They're playing Cincinnati. They're kind of a standalone game, so you got all eyes on you. Second game of the MLS season, and I was just not impressed. At the bar I was at before going to the DC United game had the game on, and every time I looked, just nothing going on. Cincinnati ended up winning the game, and Atlanta just looked dead. And I will say, part of it, you go into Cincinnati, really tough atmosphere, a really good team. Made the playoffs last year, had a little run there in the MLS Cup playoffs, but yeah, I was just really not impressed watching Atlanta United because they've got a new coach, which I guess we kind of expected them to be pretty bad this season. But I was just watching them. I was like, this is a team that is going to compete for the wooden spoon when it comes to the end of the season. So yeah, I know you're not. I know you don't like my answer, Justin, but ultimately I think they underperformed and could have a lot to improve on going into the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I like Atlanta. I have them. I'm hoping that they make the playoffs this season. I'm hoping that they make a deep playoff run this season. I think that
Mm-hmm.
they're
That
just a
won't happen,
franchise that
but
I really like. I understand. And they even handed it to us with Vander getting injured in the 13th minute,
mm-hmm.
which I don't think we have an update on quite yet. But I mean, that's a big loss for Cincinnati. And you would say in the 13th minute when that happens, you're like, okay, Atlanta has this in the bag. At least they should have.
Right,
And
right.
if you look at the stats on the game, there's nothing that really stands out. They're even in shots. They're even on shots on target. They just couldn't get it in the back of the net. And yeah, I think it just comes if that's the reason, then it just comes down to effort. and just skill at that point. So tough day for
Yeah,
my Atlanta FC. Tough day for Atlanta United. But there's always week two. So
yeah, yeah. I think
there's always week two.
they're a good example of a losers of this week. Winners, we got the Red Bull Minnesota that surprised us. Speaking of winners, Justin, um,
Yeah.
after watching all these games this weekend and having some observing different teams and all that going into week 2, who do you think should be and is the MLS Cup favorite?
You know, you in our notes we have MLS Cup, and I'm not just gonna do MLS Cup. I'm talking about Supporters Shield. I'm talking about Leagues Cup.
All
I'm
right,
talking about MLS
all right,
Cup. I'm talking about every single trophy you could possibly win. It's got to go to San Diego FC. They look too good. They're too
classic.
fast. They can score the ball. Look, I know we've already talked about them. I know they went 5-0, but if I'm looking at just week one, they look unstoppable. With Miami not looking great
Yeah,
and San Diego look amazing, it has to be them. All right, now I think they should be the favorites for
yeah, I,
everything, and I'd put my money right there.
yeah. I thought about putting them, but I need to see them play against a good team first because they did play Montreal. That's my one like little hiccup before I really go all in on the San Diego train. But I think that's a fair take for me. I talked about this a little bit in when we were just discussing some bigger games. I think I'm going LAFC. I think we're both going a Western Conference team. I really liked what I saw from LAFC. They didn't give up against Miami on the big stage at the LA Memorial Coliseum. I ultimately do think, since that was arguably a matchup a lot of people believe could be the MLS Cup come end of the season in December, and Miami just didn't play well, and so I think that game, after watching that after week 1, I think for a lot of people is going to put LAFC up to the top for being an MLS Cup favorite, and I'm one of those people. I'm all in. Shout out to Son and I'm blanking on the people who scored, but I was just really impressed watching LAFC, and I think they should be the MLS Cup favorites going forward.
Yeah, they were great. They were phenomenal. No San Diego FC, but they were pretty great. Obviously, those are some heavy hitters. We're not talking like it's not
hmm
surprising
hmm
anyone that we're talking about LAFC. It's not surprising anyone that we're talking about San Diego. But when you look at like a team after this first week, like you're looking at a team, and if we were talking about basketball, it'd be like your league pass ranking. Like what? How would you go
hmm
about like who's the team to watch? Like who's gonna surprise people, and who is like if you're sitting there on a Saturday and we have multiple games on and you're just trying to figure out what to watch, what team are you going to be looking for? Because you just know it's going to be a fun, exciting game.
All right, these are my biases coming through here. Um, for context, guys, I'm from just outside of Houston. I'm a big Houston sports fan. I'm a DC United fan just because I got into soccer after I moved to DC, so that's why DC United is my team. But growing up, I always heard about the Dynamo, and I think I thought they played really well in that second half comeback against Chicago on Saturday, and I do think that they are a team to watch. I think going forward for me, not to spoil the next question that's coming up, I think they're going to be a team that I actively seek out to watch, and not just because I'm from Houston. I think that they will surprise some people. I think they'll, after a few down years, I think they won the Open Cup like 2 or 3 years ago. After a few down years, I think that there's almost a resurgence of good soccer being played down in downtown Houston and at Shell Energy Stadium. And so I think going forward, if there's a bunch of games on, I don't know who to watch. I'm gonna watch the Houston Dynamo play soccer. That was an insane second half comeback, and I think they will really surprise people this season.
Yeah, I have nothing nice to say about Houston as a city or a team. But if I had to pick one, and I don't think it's
hmm
again I'll just jump to it. Nashville FC looked phenomenal on Saturday, but most of all, they looked fun. I mean,
Yeah.
we have a
Uh huh.
goal. We have a goal in the 5th minute. We have a goal in the 16th minute. We have a goal in the 39th minute. and they're firing on all cylinders. Now,
Mm,
New England Revolution, obviously not a great team. They're not. I don't
yeah,
have them very high. I think it's a fun story, but you know, they have Matt Turner coming back, and it didn't really seem to help them because most everything went in. They shot 8 targets on goal, and 50% of them came in. Not saying it's all his fault. I think that the defense has to be there, but man, how fun is, I mean, 14 shots to New England's four. They just looked fun. They looked good. I can see them being a sneaky playoff win, or a sneaky playoff team, and just if they're
mm,
playing and I don't have any big hitters on, I'm gonna turn on the Nashville game.
yeah. Even if their kits were kind of ugly, I do think I
Yeah,
I
not
kind
great.
of agree. I think they're a really fun team to watch. So I
Yeah,
do agree with your pick. Justin, last question for you when we're talking
yeah.
about winners and losers of this week. Heading into next week, what looking at the schedule for match week 2, what game are you most excited to tune into this next week?
Yeah, actually we have a lot of good games next week,
Yeah,
especially coming
which
off a really good
is a
week.
shame. It's almost a shame because we will be at the first ever I-45 showdown at the Cotton Bowl against Dallas Trinity FC and Houston Dash. So it is a little sad we won't be able to sit down and watch all of these because we'll be watching that game. But I'm excited for your answer of which game to watch.
Yeah, I think Austin versus DC United. I'm really excited to. I'll have to
Vamos!
if if
Which
we
that game's on
can't
Sunday, so you can watch it.
yeah, we can watch it. But I'm excited to sit down and watch that game. I think DC with a big win over Philadelphia, they're looking to continue to get this steam rolling. If I'm Austin, I'm a little pissed off, frankly. If I tied
Right,
Minnesota,
right.
it's in Q2, which it's I think one of the hardest places to play outside of the big hitters. And
Mm,
yeah,
mm.
I think it's going to be a fun game. DC United looks fun, and Austin's really good. So I'm looking forward to I think it'll be a good soccer game. What about you, bro?
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I should be able to watch the second half in the airport. I have a layover before getting back to DC, so I'm excited for that one
Let's,
too. For me, I know I just spent a good amount of time talking about Houston, but I think Houston versus LAFC. Um, like I said, I think Houston will surprise some people, and I think we'll see that pretty clearly with their big test against LAFC. Houston coming off the second half comeback against Chicago, LAFC coming off that huge win against Miami, and they are looking really good. And so I think that game will be pretty interesting to see. One, what's Houston actually like as a team against a really good Western Conference team? We're able to see what's LAFC like when they're not playing in the Memorial Coliseum and it's not, the Walmart Saturday night showdown. So I'm
yeah,
really excited for that game, even if I'm not able to watch it, to watch the highlights and follow as it's happening. Just because I think that game specifically will give us a good peek into both of those teams. See, is LAFC really good? Are they going to blow out the Dynamo? Or the Dynamo actually, the rebuild is going really well? So we'll see.
yeah, I think that's a great pick. You know, after week one, I'm just pumped for week two. Like, I just can't wait for
Same.
Saturday.
Same.
Just can't
I'm
wait for Saturday.
fully just pumped up. Give me a wall.
All right, that concludes our week one MLS recap. I'm so excited for week two. I just want it to be Saturday, especially because we're going to go see the Dallas Trinity beat up on that team from Houston. Uh, Eddie?
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be fired up and excited for the USL season too. Watching some Super League
Yeah,
action, I guess friendly action with the NWSL. Get excited for both of those leagues, even though Super League is going on right now. USL starting 2 weeks from now. I'm really excited to start diving into those leagues. But yeah, MLS was just what a fun opening weekend. And in case you're wondering why we haven't discussed the two Sunday night games, it's because due to scheduling, we had to record this episode before those games happened Sunday night. So unfortunately, we're not able to discuss those, but I'm excited to watch them. I'm sure Justin will be tuned in as well, and maybe if they're both really good, we'll probably have some thoughts for next week's episode on that. But yeah, thanks for listening, tuning in. Feel free to leave comments on how dumb our takes are, how good our takes are. Yeah, I'd love to keep having a conversation. What's going on? Justin, what's your final word for everybody?
Hey, I got one thing. Go Trinity.
I got one thing. Vamos United.